Coming up, the community rallies for Trans Week of Visibility.
And later, a local music festival celebrates 20 years.
Iowa men's basketball welcomes a new addition to the team.
We're in for a windy Wednesday. I'll have your full forecast in weather.
Good morning from Iowa City. It is Wednesday, April 2nd. I'm Ryan Lynch.
And I'm Isabel Thier.
And the third member of our team, Colin Carithers, joins us in the studio to give us the forecast for this week's ahead.
Well, thanks, guys. It's currently a disgusting 47 degrees outside. It was a brutal and rainy walk into the studio today. As we take a look at the Penncrest Cairn, you see at the top of the old Capitol, the flagpole there, it is really windy. It's just not a fun time outside right now. But as we take a closer look at the Penncrest, temperatures today could get as low as 38 degrees with thunderstorms throughout the morning. And we could see winds get up to 30 miles per hour. Now, the wind will persist all day, but the rain will let up throughout the morning and leave close towards the afternoon. Now, partly cloudy skies through the rest of the way, as temperatures could get up to 72 degrees. Now, as we look ahead towards tomorrow, we'll get a break from the rain with mostly just cloudy skies, but the high will only get up to 57 degrees and will drop all the way back down to 37. We do have a threat of severe weather, and I'll have what to watch out for later in weather.
Trans Week of Visibility finished with their annual rally. DITV News Director Johnny Veltman has the impact of the event within the community.
With pending legislation that would ban civil rights for transgender individuals, the rally was a show of community to those who could be impacted.
There is a huge community that supports our trans neighbors, our LGBTQ neighbors, that the allies are not going anywhere.
The law, which will go into effect on July 1st of this year, is leaving members and supporters of the community frustrated and upset.
It's hard, and especially Iowa City is so blue that they don't listen to us because we're so not what they want to hear.
Despite the hardships of the past couple of months, the rally was a way for members of the Iowa City community to show their support.
Today's all about showing up and making space for joy.
Through stands with resources, poetry,
just like hope springing high, still I'll rise,
and songs. Supporters are standing by the transgender community through these hard times.
We're a part of the LGBTQIA community, but not transgender. You can still be here in solidarity, and you can still show up for your neighbors.
And as Trans Week of Visibility comes to a close with the rally behind me, the community will continue to fight against state legislation and national legislation as one. From the University of Iowa, Johnny Veltman, DITV.
The Iowa City Council met last night, and some changes are coming to the city.
DITV's Anna Caprez is outside where City Council met with the changes coming to town.
That's right, Ryan. City Council is currently behind me, where last night a parking act for people with physical disabilities was just approved. The act would define the required access for parking as a part of the work environment. This is the second consideration of the ordinance, which means that this act will be put into place immediately. This act would mandate workplace parking spaces that are properly marked, located near accessible entrances, and it will prohibit discrimination in parking access for people with disabilities. This act will align with the Americans with Disabilities Act. In Iowa City, 6.9% of the population under 65 years old has a disability. This being put into effect would allow these people more access in the workplace. A lot of legislation in the Iowa State House is on a ticking deadline this week and in need of a passing amount of votes to stay alive before the end of the second funnel week. Elizabeth Smith is in the newsroom to give us the details.
Thanks, Annika. Funnel Week happens when lawmakers have to pass a specific amount of bills by a certain deadline. This is the Iowa Legislature's second funnel week of this year's session. If a bill doesn't receive enough support, that bill is dropped. Bills need approval from the chamber that they were introduced in, and then a committee in the other chamber needs to approve its passage. One bill that has not passed that would impact Iowa public universities would be the bill that would create a policy to drop the requirement for students to enroll in a diversity, equity, and inclusion course. Right now, students have to enroll in one to achieve their degree. Supporters of the bill argue that DEI classes censor balanced views, while opponents say that American history should be taught in full, which requires diverse perspectives. On Friday, April 4th, the Iowa legislative body will vote to see if the bill is passed. A transgender father withdrew a lawsuit against the Iowa City School District yesterday. This comes just one day after Attorney General Brenna Bird challenged the lawsuit. The lawsuit was filed after the father was prohibited from entering the men's bathroom at a school event. The Attorney General asked courts to intervene as Iowa law specifically states that people must use bathrooms based on their sex at birth. As new tariffs continue to take effect on exported goods, American farmers are among the worst of the impacted. With 1/3 of the country's agricultural production being exported, farms are impacted hard by the new tariffs on exported goods. Farmers sell billions of dollars in crops and livestock products annually to other countries, including Canada, Mexico, and China. Because of this large production, farmers continue to rely on the Department of Agriculture for resources and financial support regarding agriculture production and selling.
If in fact there's harm, that they'll figure out a way to essentially hold farmers harmless. The reality is farmers would prefer markets to government payments.
The United States is currently not planning to relieve farmers from current tariff retaliation, rather creating negotiations to allow farmers to rely less on government assistance. A senator has set the record for the longest speech in United States Senate history. Democratic New Jersey Senator Cory Booker started his speech Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Booker broke the Senate speech record Tuesday evening, and fellow Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer informed him of the accomplishment.
I'm Chuck Schumer. I have yielded for a question, and you asked me, did I know? I know now.
The previous Senate speech record was held by South Carolina Republican Strom Thurmond with a 24-hour and 18-minute speech in 1958. Booker's speech was not considered a filibuster as it was not happening to block Senate proceedings. He finished Tuesday night at 8:05 Eastern after a 25-hour and 5-minute marathon speech, which called out the current Trump administration. State and national legislation continues to make headlines as I send it back to you guys in the newsroom.
A law prohibiting inclusive and equitable learning environments are currently impacting students at the University of Iowa. DITV's Linda Lauco has the story.
For African Student Association.
Black students at the University of Iowa are recently facing changes impacting their experiences on university ground. Senate File 2435, a diversity, equity, and inclusion ban, has been approved and will go into full force on July 1st, 2025. This will lead to changes for the Young, Gifted, and Black, or YGB program starting next semester.
It's unlike it. It's truly one of a kind. People from all different backgrounds, often different walks of lives, ethnicity.
LLC programs and resident assistants received a Dear Colleague letter on February 14th as federal funding officially cut their programs. This ban impacts educators and or students that are involved with the DEI.
So it's a lack of respect the university has towards me and my position in my community.
Although the university has provided opportunities for students of color to feel heard and accepted, the DEI ban is leaving some feeling as though their community is being taken away.
It took a lot out of me. YGB built me to who I am here at the university, and it broke me more than ever to know that it's no longer going to be in existence.
They advertise diversity and LGBTQ, but then they're quick to take away the key factors of what, like, a lot of people come to Iowa because of how liberal Iowa City is, one, and how liberal.
Students of color here at the University of Iowa have voiced their opinion to faculty and are waiting for change. From the University of Iowa, Linda Lauco, DITV.
Elon Musk's Department of Government efficiency cuts have reached the University of Iowa. Hundreds of millions of dollars worth of possible grants for the state of Iowa's institutions have been cut due to less available federal spending. The University of Iowa has $9 million worth of possible grants being taken away. This money was going to be put towards Iowa's creative writing program, in which the university is currently ranked second in the country for. Baja Engineering is preparing for nationals, but they've had to battle some recent adversity. DITV's Karch Smith has the story about what the student engineers are doing to overcome their obstacles.
The University of Iowa's Baja Engineering team travels across the country to race other schools. But just like that one friend with an 04 Impala, they're facing some car troubles.
Yeah, so we were out testing at 600 acres, which is our test track, and we took it off a jump, and the front member of the toe box just kind of sheared open. The toe box is creating problems in the suspension, but fixing that isn't all they're doing. They know to keep their car in tip-top shape, they need to keep working and improving on all aspects.
Right now we're mainly dealing with suspensions. We're doing a lot of work with changing mounting points. So kind of how we change those brackets and those mounts kind of the buck stops at us, so we okay everything. A lot of testing for us right now, so we're testing to see what works, testing to see what doesn't work. And just kind of getting more hours in the car, which is something we didn't get to do last year.
The leadership are working hard to make sure everything is set up for success on their journey to nationals.
And this year, myself and another member are co-lead design, and we're pretty much okaying and developing everything that goes into the car that we're changing this year.
This group is working real hard to make sure that their 3 cars are ready for finals in Maryland. From the chemistry building, Karch Smith, DITV.
And Izzy, I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to getting out of the house this weekend.
Yeah, me too. And good thing DITV's Hannah Lipsky is live at Hansher to tell us what we can do.
Of course, Izzy. Now, tomorrow kicks off the annual Mission Creek Festival presented by Angler Theater. And it continues through Saturday with live performances, literature activities, and conversations with artists and authors across several venues. The first event begins at Hansher Auditorium at 6 p.m. right behind me through those doors. And it's a conversation between author Rachel Kushner and headlining musician Kim Gordon. The festival is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year and has a really interesting history dating all the way across the country and San Francisco, California in the early 2000s. In March 2006, writer and University of Iowa professor Andre Perry moved to Iowa City and brought the Mission Creek Festival with him, right here showcasing local musicians and writers. You can see the full calendar and purchase tickets at missioncreekfestival.com. Now back to you guys in this warm, dry, and wind-free studio.
Baseball took a big win on the road, and we'll look into some transfer portal updates for Iowa basketball.
Stories occur every day, and here at DITV, we've got you covered with up-to-date news and politics.
Former President Donald Trump won the Iowa caucus.
And we are anxiously waiting for those votes for not only the national election, but here in District 1.
Keeping highlights and scores with Hawkeye Sports.
The All-American walk-on brought that punt return down this sideline and into this end zone.
Iowa looks to boost their overall placement and their way into the semis.
And of course, all the latest in entertainment.
Sit back, relax, and here's the word on the street.
I'm here at the Alan McVeigh Theater where a unique performance.
Here at DITV, we've got a crew bringing you all the stories from across the nation and right here in your backyard.
From Washington, D.C., Nashville, Tennessee.
From downtown Iowa City.
From Carver Hawkeye Arena.
And bringing all the coverage straight to you live on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. Around the University of Iowa and Iowa City community, we have the stories that matter to you here at DITV.
And Izzy, as Colin mentioned earlier, it was really rainy and windy getting here today, this morning.
Yeah, my walk here this morning, I wasn't ready to pull out the umbrella, but I did, and then it went like that in the wind, and I didn't know what to do.
No, it's just not a good way to start your day. I get the rain, I stub my toe on the edge of my bed, just nothing great. And the news doesn't stop there. Iowa City has a marginal risk of severe weather today. As we look ahead, of course, we saw today really rainy outside, but scattered showers should move through eastern Iowa last night and are expected to continue for some of today. The combination of moisture from those storms with high levels of wind change may allow for storms to potentially become severe. If they occur, large hail, damaging wind, and isolated tornado would be possible. These storms will continue to move northeast today at 60 to 70 miles per hour and may encounter Iowa City briefly before the threat is gone. If a warning is issued or a storm approaches, be sure to get to the lowest floor of your home or shelter away from windows and put as many walls between yourself and outside as possible. I'll have the rest of the week with brighter news, but for now, I'll send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Colin. And with all this rain, that's really delaying some of our spring sports this year.
Yeah, when I was in my softball days, I did not like playing on the field. It was not fun, but the Iowa baseball team took its 10th win out of their last 11 games with a 13-3 win over Bradley on the road. The Hawks put 5 on the board right off the bat in the first and took advantage of several empty bases. Jaron Bleeker started the game on the bump, throwing 1 inning and allowing 1 unearned run and no hits on 1 walk. 6 other Hawkeye pitchers followed, each getting their own inning of work. Cooper Schulte helped finish off a 3-run 7th inning, going deep to secure the run rule. The Hawkeyes are now 18-9 on the season and will take on Northwestern next. Both Iowa basketball programs have been busy with the transfer portal. Starting with 2024 top 100 prospect Aaliyah Guyton entering the portal, the freshman guard averaged 4.7 points per game this season for the Hawks. Jan Jensen discussed throughout the season that Guyton was one of the more vocal leaders on the team, but now she is looking for a new home and has reportedly heard from a mix of different schools. But on the way in, on the men's side, is Drake transfer Ben Sturtz. Sturtz is listed as one of the top transfer recruits after completing this season with a 19.2 point per game average for the Bulldogs. He also finished as the Missouri Valley Conference Newcomer of the Year and Player of the Year. This was his only season at the Division I level as a senior, as he previously played for new Iowa head coach Ben McCollum at Division II Northwest Missouri State. While this was an expected move, Sturtz made it officially yesterday, continuing to follow his only collegiate head coach. Iowa men's basketball has also started to reload their coaching staff. Yesterday, the team officially announced 2 new assistant coaches to Ben McCollum's staff. Josh Sash and Bryson Williams, who both joined him at Drake last season. Sash has 22 years of coaching experience at multiple different levels of college basketball and is also the brother of late Iowa football player Tyler Sash. Bryson Williams also joins the program with an NBA and D-League background as well as coaching at 3 different college programs. They both share that they are humbled by the opportunity and are ecstatic to get things started with the Hawkeyes. Ben McCollum continues to live in the limelight, adding a coaching award to his 2024-2025 resume. The Hawks' new head coach took home the Joe B. Hall Award for the best first-year head coach in Division I basketball while he was with Drake. McCollum went 31-4 with the Bulldogs and led them to the second round of the NCAA tournament this season. He also continued Drake's 5-year streak of making the Missouri Valley Conference Championship and the 3rd straight time winning it. Now at Iowa, he encourages more former players to return as the Hawks look to rebuild their program. Not lots going on set, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes for Hawkeye sports.
Yeah, definitely, especially for some sports like basketball that have just wrapped up their season, but be curious to see about like the week ahead for weather.
Yeah, and that's why we're going to send it over to Colin Carruthers for a nice little check it out.
Well, guys, I said I have brighter news and brighter weather. I know it doesn't look like it behind me, but when we look at the week ahead, those temperatures will start to go up. The sun slowly starting to peak out with the week ahead as we take a look at the Penncrest cam yet again. Consistent highs in the mid-50s on Friday and Saturday, but we'll have cloudy skies, which will partly slightly Saturday and Sunday. Lows will remain in the high 20s. The skies and everything, but that'll be our look with the week ahead. I hope that these skies can stick and these temperatures will stay with us. And, you know, I can start wearing some warmer clothes outside.
Thank you for joining us online or listening on KRUI 89.7 FM.
We are here live from Iowa City every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8:30 a.m. and online anytime at thedailyiowan.com.
For everyone here at DITV, thanks for watching.
We'll see you again Friday morning here on DITV.